I'm here with Luis Scott-Vargas. Luis, you're turning things around. You're coming off a win in round 2. So are you happy with how things are going in Limited?
No, I mean, starting 1-1 is not really my ideal scenario, but my round 1 was really close. Opponent had Memorial of Unity into the second Spore Crown Thallid for the last point of damage, and I won a really close match round 2, so yeah, it's going.
I know you're prepared with Channel Fireball, of course, and you have a pretty extensive limited testing process. You have this final big discussion where you rank every card. Anything in particular you want to share from that? What were you looking forward to? Anything you disagree with your teammates?
I think the kind of the two main things is that Icy Manipulator and Fight with Fire are the bar, right? That's where very few mythic rares are above them and almost everything else is below them. I actually first picked Icy in this draft because they're colorless, splashable, that sort of thing. And then the other big demarcation is Skittering Surveyor, the 3-mana 1/2, goes and gets a land. About half our team, about 2/3 of our team would take Eviscerate / Sheevan Fire over Surveyor. The other third would take Surveyor. Either way, we have it above things like Serra Angel. We have it above a lot of the cards you would expect to see taken over a lowly 1/2.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Colorless 1/2 suddenly above Serra Angel.
It's really hard to overstate how important it is in this format to be open to whatever you're getting past. Just because the card's power level are off the charts. I mean, Sam Black's last deck that we saw in the feature match area with 10 rares is maybe an aberration, but in general, if you see Garna the Bloodflame 5th pick, you want to be in a position to take her and maybe splash her or play her. And if you start with a colorless fixing card, that goes so far in being able to do that.
Okay, Luis, I want to pick your brain on some of these picks you had to make, these decisions. We won't have time to go through all of them, but here we see you opening that pack. You already mentioned Icy as a colorless card that's super powerful. Did you have any real alternatives here?
No, this pack was not really close. All I'm doing right now when I'm looking through it is seeing if I'm going to wheel anything. The answer was, I thought no, because there's only like 4 or 5 playables, but I wheeled Jousting Lance out of that pack, which I was really happy about.
That's quite impressive.
This pack is the one I regret the most. There's basically 2 picks here. It's or maybe I wheeled Jousting Lance out of this pack. Either way, I wheel the Lance. Saproling, Migration, and Blink of an Eye, I think are cards that are very close. I debated between them. I ended up going with the Migration.
That's what Ben Stark would pick, right?
I think so, yeah. And I think that the black-green Thallid deck is really good, and red-green is also quite good. So I think that Migration opens you up. Though Blink is also a great card. So I think you could go either way here. I took Migration. I wasn't firmly, in green or blue regardless of the outcome of this pick.
Of course.
But as it turned out, I wish I had taken the Blink.
But do you think you're putting your left neighbor into a certain color at this point, or is it really not? The picks haven't been too strong, right?
No, I'm not super worried about that. So this pick, had I taken Blink of an Eye, I think I would have taken the Academy Journey Mage here because it's pretty close with Quende. Though I think Quende is better. Given that I took Migration, I took Quende just because Quende is the objectively more powerful card. And the payoffs for Quende are pretty high.
What's your take on green-white as an archetype?
Green-white is not something I'm interested in. So I would be green-white if the packs kind of dictated that.
Wild Onslaught, maybe?
Yeah, Wild Onslaught, go wide. But taking Quende there was more, I'm taking the best card and seeing where this goes.
And you're continuing this trend here. Maybe Garna in consideration, but doesn't fit into your colors at all?
Right. So at this point, even though Garna's, I think, a little better than Sphinx, you do have to bear in mind Garna's red-black, and I have a blue, a green, and a white card so far. So.
Icy, Migration is green,
yeah.
You have a white card, now you're picking a blue card. You're not expecting to play all these cards.
No, and when I took the Sphinx, I was just trying to, basically in these middle packs, I'm trying to determine which colors are open. Here, again, Divination over no other cards that I'm all that interested in. So I'm getting the sense that blue's open. And remember, I also passed an Academy Journey Mage, taking Quende over it.
And the Blink.
And the Blink. So what you're trying to figure out, right, is what is your neighbor passing to you? You're not really worried about what you're passing past. So far, I've gotten past Blink, Journey Mage, Sphinx, Divination, now Merfolk Trickster, which I like more than the Academy.
That's quite a signal, right?
Yeah,
Merfolk Trickster is so good.
Merfolk Trickster is quite strong. So here I'm pretty happy. I mean, I wish I took Blink because I'd have an extra Blink, but other than that, I have gotten 3 good blue cards in a row, and I'm very confident that blue is open.
Any color you really like pairing with blue, or are you relatively flexible?
Blue-white is good, especially since I ended up picking up a Coldwater Snapper here. You can really hope for on Sarah's Wings. Also, white just has good ways to force it through, like Dalvenet Trapper, that sort of thing. And I'm looking at potentially blue with any of the other colors. One of the really strong parts about being in this position is I didn't have any firm color commitment besides blue. So if I ended up opening a really good red card or a really good black card in pack 2, I would just be able to take it.
We saw you here picking Vodalian Arcanist. You're just picking blue cards here because you don't know what your second color is, right?
If I knew I was going to have blue, I would have taken the Memorial Unity. I think that is better.
It's the stronger card, but it's less likely to end up in your deck.
But I didn't feel like I was locked into blue. I had one white card at this point. I had Quende, and that was it.
And now we see actually the Jousting lands that you wield.
Yeah.
A lot of blue cards, and like we said, you're relatively open. I mean, we know that you ended up in blue-white, but ultimately this could have ended up blue-red, blue-green.
Or blue-black.
Black didn't seem so open from the right, though.
So none of them are open. Unfortunately, this is the part where I'm least happy about my draft, is that my first picks in packs 2 and 3 were both Davenant Archer, which is not even a card I really wanted all that much. I think it's a little better than Syncopate. Had I opened a good card in any color, I would have just taken it. If I opened a Demon Lord Belzenlock or an Eviscerate, or if I opened a Fight with Fire, like, I would just take it at this point. So it's not like I thought I was going to be blue-white. I did think I was a little more likely to be white than green, which is why I didn't take the Sap Herd. And green didn't really seem open anyway.
Any consideration for just picking Syncopate and staying open longer?
I thought about it. I think that that's the card you would take if you did not want to take the Archer there. But given that I had Quende and wheeled Jousting Lance, I thought the odds that I was white went up a decent amount, and I don't think Syncopate's like that high of a priority.
Blessed Light and Knight of Grace in the pack, good sign for white. What's your preference?
So, as it turns out, I kind of wish I took Knight, because I ended up with 2 Quendes, and Knight Quende is a very good combination.
Double strike.
I do like having a little bit of interaction removal, and Blessed Light's a very good piece of that. So
kind of the conservative pick.
Yeah, I think it's a little better to take that. I wish I'd taken the Knight, because I ended up aggressive enough as well. If you're a little bit more controlling, you'd rather have Blessed Light. And then here the picks. It's kind of funny going back, and I don't think I would make the picks differently, but I do wish I had made them differently in retrospect. I took Memorial to Genius over Divination, because usually you have enough playables, and the Memorials are just like an extra free roll. And they're both very similar effects. As it turned out, because I got a Tempest Djinn and a bunch of Vodalian Arcanists, I really wish I just had another Divination, which really is kind of my draft strategy in general. I just wish I had another Divination.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Here is a nice pick. I took Merfolk Trickster over Gideon's Reproach. I like Trickster a little bit more in general, and given that I had the second Trickster and blue was wide open, I was really, even before Tempest Djinn, looking at playing really heavy blue.
You know, with the first Trickster, you know you're aiming for 10, 11 island blue sources, and now you can just solidify that.
Right, so the second Trickster, the cost of the double blue really isn't that big, because I already am accommodating the first one.
Are you getting concerned a little bit about win conditions? Like, you don't really have heavy hitters in your deck, right?
Not really. Like, I have a crab already, or a soft, cold water snapper, a turtle, and
what is that?
that was me having a little fun with the coverage.
Well, and then Sam Black cast
Well, again, that's a slightly different thing. A lot of Antiquities Wars. I had a cold water snapper, and I had a Cloud Reader Sphinx, and then I also had a Jousting Lance, and that plus Quende, and that's enough of a slate of win conditions. I wasn't super
It's not like quite the blue-white skies archetype, but it will win at some point.
Right, and if I had picked up some Even Sentries, it would have been a little easier, but didn't really end up in that direction. I actually speculated on a couple of green cards late pack here. There was just no blue or white cards, so I took like a Spore Swarm and a Llanowar Scout and a couple things. I didn't end up green, but it was worth keeping an eye on.
Weakening the Saproling deck at the table, maybe?
Yeah, it also had that side effect.
This is not a leak?
Yeah, it's definitely not. So I was pretty happy. Again, I looked overjoyed. Part of it is like, look, in pack 3, I opened Adeliz and another Trapper, and this is just really not where you want to be on your first picks. I thought about taking Adeliz. I wasn't firm into white, but given I had the Lance really solidified it, because Lance plus Quende is a broken combo. I actually won last round because I just went Quende, Lance on another creature, and attack for 12. Oh. And Haphazard Bombardment's a nice one too, but I just took the white card. I'm like, look, I'm going to be blue-white historic. I don't think white's open in pack 1, but I don't see a reason to not be there. I can just play mostly blue cards. I knew blue was open.
Yeah, it feels like the Trapper could have been pushed a little more, right? It's always like this. Yeah, it does something, but it won't win you the game on its own for sure.
So this was quite the doozy of a pack. Really nice for me though. Tempest Djinn's not the kind of card I want to first pick all that often, because it's so committal. But now I'm already trying to play 10 or 11 blue sources, and so now I was really happy to take Tempest Gen. That also solves the win condition problem.
And a very different situation than pick one, pack one, where I'm sure Fight with Fire would rate much higher.
Yes, you certainly would slam Fight with Fire, pick one, pack one, but given I have a bunch of Tricksters and blue cards, and then here's kind of where well, this pack was good, because a second Quende, even though Quende is legendary, such a powerful effect that I'm happy to pick it up. The wheels kind of fall off here. I just get a bunch of middling packs.
Okay, so that's basically it for your deck?
Yeah, I was just picking up some odds and ends. My deck ended up 2 or 3 cards short of what I would like it to have been, and I mostly think it's that the packs weren't great. Like, I didn't see a lot of cards. I wasn't seeing, 7th pick Sapling Migrations or Eviscerates and being like, wow, I wish I was a different color. It was like, yeah, these cards at this table are just not that strong. So
in retrospect, blue was open, and it was correct to be in blue.
Yeah.
You made this decision, the close decision between Migration and Blink. I think it was the correct call, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would have made the same pick. Ultimately, you are not dissatisfied with your deck.
I'm not dissatisfied with the deck I got for the seat I was in. I don't think that I had an opportunity to change much about what I was doing. I have to draft blue in that seat. If you don't draft blue in that seat, I don't know what you're doing. My second color could have been something else, but I didn't see any good cards that weren't white anyway, so I think I ended up in the right spot. If I had one more Blink, I'd be, a little bit happier.
And one more Divination, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Luis. Great to have your insights there, and good luck next round.
Thanks.
Do that draft thing yet.